One of the reasons that we're talking here today is that Jesse Smith introduced us, and you have partnered with him to on the Richmond Tattoo Show this year, which was is one of the oldest. I don't know how many are older than the Richmond show. When did it start, and where was the kind of Virginia law and all that stuff at that time? Can you give a little bit of history on it, or were you? I assume you were a part of it at that point.
That was 1988, and it was put on by Grandpa Groovy. That was who he had called himself. But he was, you know, he wasn't really connected with the tattoo world. Uh, and so I got in and helped him out and started inviting a bunch of big names to the convention. It was in my backyard, so I felt somewhat obligated to make sure it was a good show. And, I got guys, Mike Malone and Ed Hardy and Lyle Tuttle, Chuck Eldridge, Good Time Charlie, got some international people to show up, Hanky Panky, Paul Jeffries. And it turned out to be a pretty good show. The thing with Richmond at the time, why it was a good show, was Richmond was said to be the third most populated city with tattoo people per capita. And I mean, it worked. And that was 1988.
Did it run pretty consistently from 89 on, or
No, what you had to remember back then, people that tattooed through the 80s and into about the mid 90s, there was only one or two conventions a year. Not anything like there is 4 or 5 every weekend now.
yeah?
So for tattoo people back then, the whole community was smaller, but a tattoo convention was like, I don't know, Muslims go to Mecca and the bikers went to Sturgis and the tattooers went to a tattoo convention. It was a big deal for people. They would plan all year to make these shows. So, and in 88, when Groovy quit, that left only one company, which was the National Tattoo Association. So doing a convention was, it was almost an instant hit. People wanted to go to conventions.
Yeah.
So 89, when I did it with Crazy Ace, we went down to New Orleans and did 1990. And I had considered going back to Richmond, but Crazy Ace went up and did Pittsburgh. And I just thought that we needed more variety. So I ended up going to San Diego. And that's when I passed the torch on to Billy Eason.
Okay.
Billy ran it from 90, I think it was of 92. I had met with Billy and turned everything over to him. He ran it from 93, I think, all the way to 2010 when he passed away. He did a great show. Again, it was different. There was not many shows. I did San Diego because there were no conventions on the continental United States that year.
Oh, wow.
National, which did one every year, they were still doing one, but it was on a boat. They were floating around the Caribbean somewhere. So again, people needed these conventions back then. The thing, when I did San Diego, what happened, it was such a big hit. I had 10,000 people standing in line. The California Highway Patrol was directing traffic up on the interstate. So many people were trying to get to the site. But there's so much magazine coverage for that show. It just opened the eyes up to a lot of people. And I know within 6 months, one organization was advertising 6 conventions a year. And it by 95 and 6 and 7, it was it was on its way to what it is now.